Bubba Scrubba, A Stream of Consciousness, Volume 1, Episode 1, Marker. So I guess that's the way we're going to start this whole new venture in life. I'm making this video because, quite honestly, I'm bored and I don't know exactly what else to do with my life. I was recently laid off from my job. I've been looking for a job for 3 months. It's proven futile. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I see a lot of people that are just talking and, seem to be at least, I don't know how much money they're making. I don't really care to know. I don't really know about algorithms. I'm not an expert on any of this. I just want to kind of let it out a little bit, So this channel, if you choose to watch it, is unscripted, it's unfiltered, it's unedited or lightly edited based on the restrictions of my phone. I am talking to you from the confines of my wife's office. It's a mess in here, if you could see that, but you won't see any crazy backdrops. You won't see any lights or, anything like that, at least to start with. I'm just going to speak in a stream of consciousness, not unlike Jack Kerouac. And I'm not sure how I even feel about looking at myself on this camera. I don't really like even looking at photos of myself, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are out there like that. So there's really no form to this. There's really no plan to this. It's just kind of talking off the cuff. I can speak from a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different subjects, and anyway, I guess the reason that I'm starting to do this is maybe threefold. One is, again, because I'm bored and I'm looking for some new way to be relevant in this world and make some money in this new world, this world of social media and prostituting yourself for likes and views. And two, because I've seen a lot of other people do this, and I guess being a copycat, or I'm inspired, or whatever you want to call it. And three, it's just I have a lot to say. I don't have a lot of people to say it to, and so I guess you guys are going to be that audience. And I won't be sitting here saying like and subscribe. I won't be sitting here saying, follow me, or here's my socials, or here's my Instagram. I don't even have an Instagram. My wife the other day just downloaded TikTok on my phone, not because I wanted it, but because her phone ran out of space. And my phone has tons of space because I have ADD and OCD, and I'm hyper organized, and I'm like looking at the phone space and I'm like, okay, get rid of this and delete that and whatever. And I try to do that in my life in general, just with possessions and stuff, but I don't try to do it just for the sake of doing it. Like, I want to live a cleaner, leaner lifestyle, but I don't want to just throw things away or I'll give things away to people that I feel like really could use something. But otherwise, I try not to be a wasteful person. I'm the kind of person that when I look at my garbage can and it's only half full and I put it out at the curb, I'm happy by that, because it means that maybe I'm just not wasting quite as much as, maybe some of my neighbors whose cans are overflowing. Anyway, so to level set this, I guess the best way of going about this will be this is going to be kind of an evolutionary journey. I'm just going to talk and we'll see where it goes. I have this dry sense of humor, and, I'll start laughing about weird things. And so you'll just have to bear with me on that. But I guess the beginning of this whole thing should be kind of who I am, my backstory, what I'm doing, where I've been, where I'm going, and kind of, just my observations about life and what's going on in the world, in society in general. And not that I have the answers, and please don't think I'm not an expert on anything. I'm not here to sell anything. I won't have any ads, or I'll have ads, obviously, but from YouTube or whatever. But anyway, so my alias is going to be Bubba Scrubba, or it has been, I should say. Bubba Scrubba is a name I picked up about 25 years ago when I was working with a couple of guys, a summer job when I was going to college. And one of the guys had a girl he was going out with, and he was banging her, to use the parlance of our times. And I don't know, he didn't like her, or he didn't, thought she was kind of dirty or something like that. So he referred to her as Scrubs, Scrubba. And so somehow we put Bubba Scrubba together. And so whenever we were talking about her, we would say Bubba Scrubba. And it was funny because he would tell us stories about how he would bring it up to her, not like he was telling her that, but like he would say, "Oh, Bubba Scrubba," something. And she'd be like, "Who's Bubba Scrubba?" And she was like, almost like catching on that that was the person, or she was the person he was talking about. Somehow that just stuck with me. I don't know why. So I guess for some anonymity, we want to have some anonymity, I guess, on the internet. Although I guess, the bigger you get, that all goes out the window. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm a white guy, pushing 50. Again, recently laid off from my job. I don't want to say that was my identity, but 23 years working for a Fortune 500 company in a corporate role. I never was a corporate conformist, but I also, you really don't understand how much it seeps into your psyche until it's no longer a part of you. And it's not necessarily the job, or like I identified as my job, and we'll get into that. I'll tell you more about that over time. But I think it's just the feeling of utility, getting paid, that obviously that's a huge one. But, here I am, I'm living day to day. My wife and I are originally from California, the Bay Area. I currently live in Indian River County, Florida. So we're in the heart of Trump country. That's a whole other story, although I wouldn't characterize myself as a bleeding heart liberal. But, it is an interesting dynamic to be living in a place like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like this area. It's very low key. It's very, everybody knows everybody, neighborly. Hey, how's it going? I walk my dog twice a day, and I see my neighbors, and people are very friendly, and, people that you could trust. But then on the other hand, they're like brainwashed Trump supporters, and you're just like, the juxtaposition of that is just so tough for me to understand. But again, I'll delve more into that. So growing up, I was born in the late 70s. So I'm the youngest Gen X, the oldest millennial, or some people call them the Xennials, I guess. So I grew up with, an analog, like a rotary telephone, and we didn't have cable. We had, in the beginning we had the rabbit ears, and you have to hit the side of the TV, if it was like wavy or whatever. And, I started playing video games on an Atari 2600, and which I still have. And one day I'll bring it all out and show you guys my mountain of, vintage stuff, vintage toys, collectibles, video game stuff, books. I have all kinds of different things. And that kind of informed who I am as a person, as far as like, I'm firmly 1 foot in one world, 1 foot in another world. I don't even know where I fit in anymore. And previous to this, when I didn't have time to think about it, I would just be okay with that, because you could just lose yourself in whatever it was. You were out partying with your friends, you were traveling, you were working, in your relationship, whatever. There's always something to keep you occupied. And now I don't have that to occupy my time anymore. And so it kind of starts to mess with your head a little bit, which is, I guess, another reason why I'm making this video. And so anyway, I grew up there for 35 years. I lived there till one day we packed up and left for Florida, and came down to Florida, and with a pit stop in North Carolina in between, and then COVID brought me back down to Florida, and here I am. And anyway, so I'm kind of a stranger in a strange land, although I do fit in here. I'm, you know, the youngest person on my block, let's just put it that way. All of my neighbors, all of my friends are all like retired in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, you know. So, but I can relate to them because I have a lot of institutional knowledge from, you know, being this bridge generation, and also I have a lot of educational experience. I have multiple collegiate degrees. I have a master's degree in history. I have a bachelor's degree in history. I've studied history my whole life. I used to teach history in community college, and so I have an understanding of, you know, one world and another and how it relates, and I guess that kind of will inform these videos. So for now, I'm going to try to keep it short, 10 minutes or so. I know people don't have the attention span. I'm going to try to do better at, you know, my cadence, and maybe do a little scripting, but I'll try to remember where I left off. It might just start off with something I want to rant about on any given day. Rant, I don't want to say rant, but this thing, this whatever this is going to cover a lot of different things, which would be like society, sports, hey, fantasy sports, politics, current events, history, relationships, general observations. It could be any and everything. It just depends on where my mind takes me. And I have a lot of things floating around here, so there's no real rhyme or reason or organization, although I try to be as organized as possible. But now that I'm in front of this camera, I really have no idea where to start, where to end. But again, it'll be real, it'll be raw, it'll be unscripted, it'll be unfiltered, it'll be unvarnished. It won't be corporatized. It won't be monetized, although I have to be honest, I do want to get paid. And I don't know if I could get paid for doing this, but we're going to try. And I apologize, I'm a little sweaty. I was out doing some yard work. I like to do yard work. I like to, you know, play with tools, whatever, you know. I like to play vintage video games. I like to watch movies. I like to quote movies. Apparently my ADD and my OCD are, you know, like on the spectrum, you know, undiagnosed, potential autistic spectrum person. My mom taught special ed for, I don't know, like 10 years, like elementary school. And one day she came to me and she said, you know what, I think you're on the spectrum. I think you could be on the spectrum. So I've never been formally tested, although I was in therapy for a period of time. And that therapist said that I had all the classic hallmarks of having ADD or undiagnosed ADHD, whatever the hell they call it now. I'll try not to use too much profanity, but I do probably use too much in my day-to-day life. But yeah, fuck it, you know. I mean, this is a new veg, a brave new world. So, thank you. See you soon.